I just had an extraordinary interview with Michael Yon in studio and Matt Bracken joining remotely. So the three of us got to talk for almost an hour and a half about what's happening in the world and the risk of civilizational collapse. And Matt Bracken is absolutely correct when he says that you can't control how far the collapse goes. You know, you might be thinking in your mind, well, let's just collapse back to the technology level of the 1870s, let's say. I'll have a horse and a water well and we'll grow our food off the land. The problem is you can't control that, because when you lose the core inputs of modern civilization, you might be thrust back to a much earlier era, such as pre-metallurgy. Who do you know that's a blacksmith? Who do you know that knows how to make tools out of iron, or how to melt steel, or how to run a steel mill? There are people who know how to do those things. There's not very many. And even those who know how to do it are using the more modern automated methods of achieving that. And those methods may no longer function when you lose the energy infrastructure of our modern society. For example, that's just one example. So it's really important to understand that our society is much more fragile than what most people understand. And the typical person out there is thinking, this will get solved. Sure, there's a war right now in the Strait of Hormuz, which they never heard of before. Yeah, it might be restricted for a while, but they'll solve it. The things will get back to normal. And the point of what Matt is saying, and Michael Yon also, is that sometimes you don't go back to normal. Sometimes the collapse is so catastrophic that there's nothing left to depend on that you're familiar with.
And what do they think about the future of our nation?
Because the most powerful nations in the world have to go down to their knees. That's what happened to Egypt. That's what's going to happen to America. That's what's going to happen to Germany. That's what's going to happen to France. That's what's going to happen to London. England's going to happen to Poland. That's what's going to happen to Russia. That's what's going to happen to China. But we're almost there, guys. It's happening. This is it. They're all going to go down to their knees, especially the Western ones. They're going to go down hard for how they treated us over the last 2,000 years. For the destruction of the Second Temple and how they treated us, Hashem's going to take them down hard. Because the reason God's doing this is for His name in this world.